What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Cold Takes from the Land.
Cold Takes from the Lane, where you get the coldest takes from the hottest Cleveland sports fans.
We're on fire, buddy. And today, we are back on some Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, we are.
As we head to
back
Seattle.
On some bullshit, as I like to say.
You know what? Compared to the Cavs' debut tonight, we are back on some bullshit. But we ain't talking about the Cavs today. Well, real quick, go Cavs, big dubs.
Yes, sir. Big dubskis.
Big dubskis. But in a not so likely big dubskis situation, we got the Browns traveling to Seattle this Sunday to play the Seahawks. It's going to be a West Coast game, our first one, and I think our only one of the year, unless we play the Rams in LA. I think.
Just to put a pause on you, I have to interrupt you with breaking news. The Pacers scored 143 points to beat the Wizards. 143 to 120. Like a fucking all-star game score. What the hell?
Jesus. What the fuck?
Absolutely went off.
All right. Oh, God. Well, that was your breaking news, interrupting a Cold Takes from Land episode. Let's get back to business here.
Now, interrupting this program.
Yeah. But we got Seattle this week, buddy, and it's definitely going to be a tough one. And let's just get the elephant out of the room. DeShaun Watson, he ain't playing.
He gone again, buddy.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell's going on with that fool, but I mean, me either. But since we last talked earlier today, I've kind of had a change of heart in how I think the outcome of the game is going to be. So we'll touch on that here soon.
Okay. But all right, well, before we get into our three keys, I'll just give some basics and some numbers. Obviously, we will be once again without DeShaun Watson. P.J. Walker will be playing, and the main injury concern with the Seahawks was DK Metcalf had missed a game, I believe, or two. But it looks like he'll be back, and then Bobby Wagner's questionable, though I imagine he'll play. As for some numbers, offenses are very similar, averaging 343 yards for the Browns, 348 yards a game for the Seahawks. However, big difference is 242 in the air from the Seahawks, whereas only 106 on the ground, whereas the Browns are at 195 through the air. That number slowly keeps falling as we don't have DeShaun Watson in the lineup, and the rushing yards has still remained pretty high at 147. Now, the defense is the big difference. The Seahawks giving up 346 yards a game. They're excellent against the run, only giving up 87 yards a game, but pretty, I'd say, average against the pass, giving up 259 yards a game, whereas the Browns, despite the absolute thrashing the Colts did on us last week, still only giving up 264 yards a game, 93 on the ground, 170 through the air. So, buddy, what's your general thoughts before we get into specifics?
This is going to be P.J. Walker's coming out party, buddy. I've decided it already.
Okay.
Not only because we need this win, but I don't think there's anywhere he can go but up. He's been absolutely atrocious so far. He hasn't thrown for any touchdowns. He hasn't ran for any touchdowns. So I don't think there's anywhere to go but up for him. And in a game that we need to win to keep pace in this division, I think he's going to have a good game.
You know, I actually partially agree with you, just because he's had two pretty rough games. With both of those games, I have pointed out that he's shown.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, he's he's shown poise and ability to stay composed and lead us down two game-winning drives in the 49ers and Colts game. So that was like the one positive takeaway. And I feel like even though the Seahawks defense is solid, he'll have a better shot to, put up some decent numbers. And with that, let's get into our three keys to victory. I'll swing it to you first, buddy.
Alrighty, so my first key to victory this week is pressure Geno Smith. Their offensive line is the weak point of their team, so if Miles can have even half the game he had last week, I think we're going to have some success against him there. Just make his life a living hell. I mean, hopefully Za'Darius gets on the board with another sack, bring the pressure with Okoronkwo and some of these linebackers to catch him off guard as much as we can. But I think if we pressure Geno, we stand a good chance in this game.
I completely agree, and I'm actually going to build off that point because my first key was actually, I'm going to word it differently, was to disrupt Geno Smith as much as possible. The Seahawks offensive line is pretty pedestrian, so we can definitely get pressure, as you said. That's your main point. But Geno, while he is much improved and is definitely a damn solid quarterback in this league, he still will have plays here and there where we'll put the ball in harm's way. He'll miss a throw here and there just because, it happens. He's not an elite quarterback. And that tends to happen when he's under pressure, when things are getting getting disrupted, when he's not completely in rhythm. So the big thing is just don't allow them to beat you over the top, because these receivers they have are great at that. Keep everything in front of you and just be as disruptive as possible with different, blitzes and line packages, and be versatile with your defensive fronts, which we definitely can be with our personnel. So I definitely agree with you on that.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main key to victory. If we can disrupt him and kind of throw him for a loop, I think we'll be okay. At the end of the day, like you said, Geno's better than he has been in years past, but Geno Smith's still Geno fucking Smith. Like, he's only going to do so well. He's not a world beater out here. I mean, he's a guy that very much, like, a lot of people think Brock Purdy is right now. He's a system quarterback that's good with weapons around him, which he has. So if you can throw him for a loop, even the best of the best, Tom Brady is bad under pressure. If you can put pressure on a quarterback and keep them on their heels, that's the main key to victory.
For sure.
So my next point, let me see here. I kind of touched on this earlier, but I'm going to say this is P.J. Walker's coming out party. I think he's going to have finally his first touchdown pass this week. So he may even have
Let's
two.
hope so.
If he can come out, throw a touchdown or two, hell, maybe even he'll get a rushing touchdown. However we can get it done, we need to get it done this week, because with Seattle only giving up 87 yards on the ground per game right now, and us possibly being short Kareem Hunt this week, I don't know if there's going to be a whole lot of options there with Pierre Strong and these other two backs we just brought in. So he's going to have to get it done through the air. Look to Amari Cooper, look to Njoku. So hopefully Cooper will have a bounce back game once again, and then Njoku, he was pretty solid last week. So if he can build upon that game, I think we'll be all right.
100%. And again, my next point is similar. I'm going to build off of it. It's kind of 2 points in one, but they're both about PJ Walker, so I just wanted to combine them. And my second point is, or second key, I should say, is protect PJ Walker and make it easy on PJ Walker. And what I mean by that is, obviously, protect PJ Walker. Don't allow him to get under pressure, because, he's a practice squad sub, second, third string quarterback guy for a reason, and you don't want that guy under a bunch of pressure. So you want to keep him protected so he can stand clean in the pocket. And then on the other side, with the make it easy part, is Stefanski, which you saw. Well, I was talking about this at work a bit. You saw this happen when Baker went down and Case Keenum had to play. You saw it when Jacoby Brissett had to play. You even saw it when Nick Mullins had to play. I don't know if you remember that, when he started a game for us.
Oh, God, I sure do. Shudders.
Yes. But Stefanski is really good at kind of catering to lesser quarterbacks, at making quick, easy reads, quick passes that don't allow too much pressure, too much thinking on the quarterback's part. And I'm hoping with a full week of him getting the first team reps, everyone's well aware Watson isn't playing. It isn't some mystery going into the weekend. And I'm just hoping with that he can kind of cater a game plan to make it as easy on PJ as possible, so that way he's not overthinking, he's not getting flustered, not putting the ball in harm's way. And with that, he would then have a much better week than he's had the last couple weeks. So can't agree with you more there.
Yeah, those extra days of first team reps are going to be a big help, I think. So he's not going to be a last second starter out of nowhere like we have had the last couple games. So I think that'll make a big difference for us as well, like you touched on.
For sure, yep.
And going into my final point, I have get the defense back on track. Gave up way too many chunk plays, I thought, last week. So we got to get back on track here, kind of cut down those chunk plays for the Seahawks, lock up the receivers best we can. Even if DK plays, I think he'll be a little banged up. So be physical with him best we can, kind of limit Geno and what he does in the passing game, and I think we could be okay.
100%. Yeah, the defense, definitely had a down week last week against the Colts. Had Gardner Minshew was out there looking like freaking Michael Vick and Tom Brady mixed together. It was definitely something. So yeah, for sure, the defense definitely has to get back on track. And
yeah. Oh, Minshew had 2 rushing touchdowns his entire career going into last week, and he had 2 against us.
Yeah, it's just. I remember watching that, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, how? Like literally, we played Lamar Jackson. We played Joe Burrow. Goddamn. What do we?
Lamar kind of made us look silly too. Lamar had 4 fucking touchdowns.
But at least you expect that from Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's a perennial MVP candidate. You don't expect this from old Gardner Minshew.
It's a motherfucker named Gardner.
This tends to happen, and this happens in every Cleveland sport. This just happened tonight, for example, in our Cavs against the Brooklyn Nets. Some scrub off the bench I've never heard of came out and dropped 30 on us. So This tends to happen against Cleveland teams for whatever weird reason.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm going to get into my final point, and my final point is don't let outside factors control the game, and that's kind of a combination of things.
DeShaun Watson.
Yes, so that's one of the parts. Don't let this stupid-ass DeShaun Watson mysterious drama going on, because at the end of the day, those are the guys in the building, so they know what's going on better than we do. So just take it for what it is. Go one day at a time, day to day, as they like to say. And, don't let that affect your game plan. Don't let it affect the locker room. Just keep a positive energy going in. And just, go out and execute. And the other side of that is we're going into a stadium known as the 12th Man, one of the toughest places to play. And that also can really drain you mentally when you're in a stadium that's wild and rowdy. And, with that, you gotta lock in. Don't let it get to the best of you. And, just go out there and execute. And I feel like at the end of the day, this is still a team that we can beat even without DeShaun Watson. We have the defense. We have Amari Cooper, David Njoku. Obviously, we're down our starting quarterback. We're down our top 2 running backs, or top 3 running backs, if you include Chubb in there. But still got some guys that can make some plays, and anything can happen at any given Sunday, like they like to say. So I just don't let this get to your head. Protect PJ Walker, make it easy on him. Don't let him get flustered, and then make it hell for Geno Smith back there. So that's my spiel for the game this week.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy couple keys to victory there. I think they know exactly what they have to do as well. Defense needs to have a bounce back week. Miles needs to continue to be strong, and we need to get the passing game going. So if we can do all those things, if we can protect PJ Walker, get to Geno Smith, and get the passing game going a bit, I think we can win this game.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. It's definitely a winnable game. And right before we get into our score predictions, I'm going to make a little prediction myself. I think this is going to be back-to-back game-breaking weeks for Myles Garrett. I feel like he's going to have a very similar, stats and just feel and just ability to kind of wreck the game like he did against the Colts. And I think he's going to be a big reason this game's close. So I expect another, at least 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3 sack game, force a fumble here and there.
Shit, why stop there? Maybe 4 or 5.
Fuck it. 25 sacks. I'll be disappointed if he's under 25. But no.
Hell, man, I think you're right. I mean, if he has another game like that, I think he cements himself firmly in the Defensive Player of the Year race, which he very well could do. I think that's going to be a big key to victory. But I think we have all the tools to get it done this week. It's just a matter of whether we're going to come out and do it or not.
For sure. And with that...
And as I touched on earlier, this isn't one of those games. I think we need to win this game. Like, I hate to say it's a must-win in Week 7, but to keep pace in this division, we're going to have to win this game because we got an easy game next week. Or on paper, it's easy against Arizona. But if we can come out and get a win here and go to 5-2, it'd be huge.
Yeah, that would be amazing, especially, because it's just, like you said, I mean, I can't really say anything else to add there. It's just tough division. Got to win the games that you can.
Yeah, especially with the Ravens looking the way they are. And we kind of talked about this before we went on the air, but I'm hearing rumblings that the Ravens are the front runners to land Derrick Henry. So if that's the case, we got to win every damn game we can possibly can to keep up with them.
If that happens, our next episode will just be 20 minutes of us sobbing into our souls.
It's going to be the Michael Jordan face, but on me and Draven's body.
Literally. But let's get into some score predictions, buddy. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Yes, sir. I'll go first. I'll set the precedent here, buddy.
All right.
This is not how I felt this morning, but after thinking it over, I'm going to take the Browns in a close victory. I think it's going to be 27-24. Browns win. I think Myles is going to have a huge game. I think Amari Cooper is going to have 100-plus receiving yards. I think PJ is going to have 2 passing touchdowns and no interceptions. So I'm going to say a close one, but 27-24, Browns win.
I like it. I love the positivity. And normally I'm the optimistic one. Normally you're the more Debbie Downer. I'm the more optimistic fella.
I don't really believe. I'm not a big Geno guy either. I don't really believe in Geno too much. So it's a good team, tough defense, great weapons, but I'm not too scared of Geno Smith, especially if this offensive line had a couple more big guys on there that I thought would it be able to actually stand up to our rush defense a little bit. I think it would be different, but this offensive line's pretty weak. So I think Myles is going to have a big week, and I think some of the other guys are going to be able to get on the stat sheet again as well. I think Okoronkwo may have a sack. hopefully Zadarius has another sack or half a sack, so I think it'll be big for us.
For sure, yeah. I love the optimism, and you know what? Not to pee in your Cheerios, but I think this is gonna be the first week. This is gonna be the first week we differ.
We can't lose this game, buddy. If we lose this game, our life's over.
I know, but I gotta be fair. Gotta be fair, and I gotta be honest. And I love my Browns, but it's gonna be the first week we differ in our predictions, buddy. I am not gonna favor us. I think we're gonna be scrappy, and it's gonna be tough. I just feel like, we've pulled off a couple improbable wins with PJ, despite his statistical performance being pretty piss poor. But I feel like he'll have a better week, but maybe luck's not going to swing our way. We're going to have such a hard time running the ball, and I think even with, a well-designed game plan for PJ Walker, even without a run game, eventually, he's going to make mistakes. And the Seahawks offense, I think, has the right kind of weapons that can occasionally bust some holes into this defense just because we run a lot of man. They have multiple man beaters type receivers. They got a lot of speed. And I can definitely see us being scrappy but giving up a big play here and there, keeping it close. But ultimately, I'm going to take the Seahawks 24-16. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong, but that's my prediction.
I don't like that shit one bit.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be. I don't want to be so sad and poopy. But that's just how I feel, buddy.
That's fair. I was gonna say it'll be a tough one for sure, but I think this will be our first victory in 35 years in Seattle if we get it done.
Yeah, I think the early '80s was the last time this happened. But we'll see how it goes. You got anything else you want to throw in?
First time for everything, buddy.
For sure.
Nope. I think it'll be a good week. I think we're gonna get to 5-2. I just think in this division, we're going to need to keep stacking wins, like Miles said after last game. I don't want to be going to what would be 4-3 if we lost this, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 4-3 does not sound good in the division we're currently in. So
nope.
I'm going to have some optimism. I think we're going to go 5-2. I think we're going to come out with a sense of urgency because we have to win this game.
Right, for sure. It's definitely a big one, and I guess I'm the party pooper this week. But with that, that's our predictions. That's our feels on the game. It's going to be an interesting week. And once again, we appreciate you guys for listening. It's another one in the books, another Browns episode. I hope you guys enjoyed our Cavs episode we just uploaded. Obviously, they got a big win tonight in their opening game. And we'll be doing...
Yeah, buddy. Let them know.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll have weekly episodes on them. Then we'll, as you said, looking to get that Guardians video out Friday, do a little recap on the Guardians. Obviously, baseball season's pretty much over for us. But, get something out there before it's officially over with the World Series. Once again, we really appreciate you guys for listening. And we'll see you guys in the next episode with the Guardians preview. And then hopefully with the Browns post-game recap that is happier than my predictions. We'll see you in the next one.
Gold takes from the land.